So in today's video, we're going to be talking photographs and how to best organize them. But before I head into that topic, if you are someone who loves organizing tips, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm always growing my inventory of videos on all things house organizing. So yeah, please subscribe, but let's talk photographs. So even though I'm a professional organizer by trade, over the last 7 years that I've lived in my house, I've been hoarding a big dark secret, and that secret's been stashed behind my couch. And that's the fact that I've had this ginormous tub, like I'm talking this big, that's been filled to the brim with photographs. It might be photo albums, it might be loose photos. Either way, there's been a ton of photos laying behind my couch. And I've never had the energy or desire to really tackle it. It was out of sight, out of mind for the longest time. But being stuck in quarantine and being stuck at home finally gave me that push I needed to start tackling it. And if you're in a similar situation, it might not be, behind your couch, but you have just loads of photographs and paperwork that you're looking to get through, this video might help you out. Basically, my first step was not pressuring myself into tackling it overnight. It's a big project. So what I ended up doing was taking just a small stack of pictures every night, every few nights, and just slowly going through each of them, trying to decide which ones were worthy of being kept versus not. And to make that decision a little bit easier, I basically create a list of rules for myself. Rule number 1 is, do you have a physical copy of that photograph already? In most cases, the majority of our photo albums were pictures that we had printed that we already had stored somewhere in the cloud. And so in those cases, it was a really easy toss decision. Some people might freak out at that notion and love to keep those physical copies handy, but if they are not already framed and on a shelf and are just collecting dust either behind your couch or somewhere else, it's very likely not worthy of being kept. Keep it digitally. You'll know you always have it if and when you do want to frame it or take it out or take a look at it. So say goodbye to it and know that you're not saying goodbye to it forever. You still have it stashed somewhere else. The second rule was basically, do you have multiple copies of that same image? In a lot of cases, for whatever reason, people print out 2 or 3 copies of the same shot, or it might be an old stash of school portraits where you have 13 of the wallet-sized pics of that particular school year still in the tub. In those cases, pick one and get rid of the rest. The third is, does it mark a momentous occasion in your life? This is a tough one for most people. In most cases, people will say yes to every single image, but there are those images where you don't even remember who's in that photograph with you, where you were. In those cases, again, it's okay to say goodbye to them. Or if it's some occasion that you don't even remember, it doesn't spark, that warm fuzzy feeling in you, get rid of it too. Or if it's a situation where this kind of interlaps or overlaps with the duplicates question, but if you have multiple photos of the same event from different angles, again, ask yourself how many of those you really need to keep in physical form. In most cases, it's probably 1 or 2, and the rest can go because the rest are in the cloud. And so if you go through those 3 questions, at the end of the day, you should be left with just a fraction of the physical photos that you had as a starting point. One example for us was, again, going through that big tub to this one was, a really great feat in itself. And so what we did here, and I'll open it up for you, is this case holds a bunch of smaller cases within it, which is really great to help categorize the images that you do keep too, so that, again, you're not just finding yourself with a bin full of loose photographs. And so here we divide it up by baby and toddler years, teenage years, adult years, and just categorize everything this way so that when we do want, to touch those photographs, we know where to find them and we can find them really easily. Each of these photographs are now kept digitally as well. So the other thing I should mention is, before we went and stored all of these in this bin, we took the time to actually photograph each and every one of these photographs. And so in a perfect world, we would have went to a professional scanning company and had it done. But given the situation that we're in, we decided to photograph them ourselves using our iPhones and a simple background. And so in our case, we got just like one of those cheapy poster boards from the dollar store and put it behind each photo before, you know, taking our pic. And that was there as kind of an insurance policy, because there were many pictures where we wouldn't be perfectly straight on in our shot, and so at least the background on these photos in those cases would be just a really unassuming black or white background in our case. So those are my tips anyway. They worked for our family. Hopefully they work for yours. If you do give it a go, send me a DM. I would love to see the before and afters of what you were able to accomplish. And if you have any other kind of golden rules that you create along the way, send me that information in the comment section. I'd love to see it. Always looking to improve these types of purging exercises. So give it a go. Good luck. And yeah, we'll see you next time.